Eminem, Marshall Bruce Mathers III, born October 17, 1972, known professionally as Eminem, often stylized as Emin. M, is an American rapper, songwriter, record producer, record executive, and actor. Eminem is the best-selling artist of the 2000s in the United States. Throughout his career, he has had 10 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 and 5 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. With more than 47.4 million albums and 107.5 million singles sold in the US and 220 million records globally, he is among the world's best-selling artists of all time and is consistently cited as one of the greatest and most influential artists in any genre. He is the only artist to have 8 albums consecutively debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Rolling Stone ranked him 83rd on its list of 100 greatest artists of all time, calling him the king of hip-hop. After his debut album Infinite, 1996, and then Slim Shady EP, 1997, Eminem signed with Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment and subsequently achieved mainstream popularity in 1999 with the Slim Shady LP, which earned him his first Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. His next 2 releases, 2000's The Marshall Mathers LP and 2002's The Eminem Show, were worldwide successes, with each being certified diamond in U.S. sales and both winning Best Rap Album Grammy Awards, making Eminem the first artist to win the award for 3 consecutive LPs. They were followed by Encore in 2004, another critical and commercial success. Eminem went on hiatus after touring in 2005, releasing Relapse in 2009 and Recovery in 2010. Both won Grammy Awards and Recovery was the best-selling album of 2010 worldwide, the second time he had the International Best-Selling Album of the Year, after The Eminem Show. Eminem's 8th album, 2013's The Marshall Mathers LP2, won 2 Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album. It expanded his record for the most wins in that category and his Grammy total to 15. In 2017, he released his 9th studio album, Revival. On August 31, 2018, Eminem released his 10th studio album, Kamikaze. In addition to his solo career, Eminem is an original member of the Midwest hip-hop group Soul Intent and D12. He is also known for his collaborations with fellow Detroit-based rapper Royce da 5 9 Inches. The two are collectively known as Bad Meets Evil. Eminem has developed other ventures, including Shady Records, with manager Paul Rosenberg, which helped launch the careers of artists such as 50 Cent. Eminem has also established his own channel, Shade 45, on Sirius XM Radio. In November 2002, he starred in the hip-hop film 8 Mile, which won the Academy Award for Best Original Song for Lose Yourself, becoming the first rap artist to ever win the award. Eminem has made cameo appearances in the films The Wash, 2001, Funny People, 2009, and The Interview, 2014, and the television series Entourage, 2010. Life and career, 1972 to 1991, early life. Marshall Bruce Mathers III was born on October 17, 1972, in St. Joseph, Missouri, the only child of Marshall Bruce Mathers Jr. and Deborah Ray Debbie Nelson. His mother nearly died during her 73-hour labor with him. 9. Eminem's parents were in a band called Daddy Warbucks, playing in Ramada and along the Dakotas-Montana border before their separation. Bruce left the family, moving to California 10, and having 2 other children, Michael and Sarah. Debbie later had son Nathan Nate Kane Samra. During his childhood, Eminem and Debbie shuttled between Michigan and Missouri, rarely staying in one house for more than a year or two and living primarily with family members. In Missouri, they lived in several places, including St. Joseph, Savannah, and Kansas City. As a teenager, Eminem wrote letters to his father. According to Debbie, all came back marked return to sender. Friends and family remember Eminem as a happy child, but a bit of a loner who was often bullied. One bully, DeAngelo Bailey, severely injured Eminem's head, mentioned in his song Brain Damage. Debbie filed a lawsuit against the school in 1982, which was dismissed the following year because the Macomb County, Mich. judge said the schools were immune from lawsuits. Eminem spent much of his youth in a working-class, primarily black, Detroit neighborhood. He and Debbie were one of 3 white households on their block, and Eminem was beaten by black youth several times. As a child he was interested in storytelling, aspiring to be a comic book artist before discovering hip-hop. Eminem heard his first rap song, Reckless, featuring Ice-T, on the Breakin' soundtrack, a gift from Debbie's half-brother Ronnie Polkinghorne, who was close to him and later became a musical mentor to him. When Polkinghorne committed suicide in 1991, Eminem stopped speaking for days and did not attend his funeral. Eminem's home life was seldom stable. He frequently fought with his mother, whom a social worker described as having a very suspicious, almost paranoid personality. When her son became famous, Debbie was unimpressed by suggestions that she was a less than ideal mother, contending that she sheltered him and was responsible for his success. In 1987, Debbie allowed runaway Kimberly Ann Kim Scott to stay at their home. Several years later, Eminem began an on-and-off relationship with Scott. After spending 3 years in 9th grade due to truancy and poor grades, he dropped out of Lincoln High School at age 17. Although he was interested in English, he never explored literature, preferring comic books, and disliked math and social studies. Eminem worked at several jobs to help his mother pay the bills, later maintaining that she often threw him out of the house anyway. When she left to play bingo, he would blast the stereo and write songs. At age 14, Eminem began rapping with high school friend Mike Ruby. They adopted the names Maddox and M&M, the latter of which evolved into Eminem. Eminem sneaked into neighboring Osborne High School with friend and fellow rapper Proof for lunchroom freestyle rap battles. On Saturdays, they attended open mic contests at the hip-hop shop on West 7 Mile, considered ground zero for the Detroit rap scene. Struggling to succeed in a predominantly black industry, Eminem was appreciated by underground hip-hop audiences. When he wrote verses, he wanted most of the words to rhyme. He wrote long words or phrases on paper and, underneath, worked on rhymes for each syllable. Although the words often made little sense, the drill helped Eminem practice sounds and rhymes. 1992 to 1997, early career, Infinite and family struggles. Eminem on stage in a white t-shirt, Eminem in Germany, 1999. As Eminem's reputation grew, he was recruited by several rap groups. The first was the New Jacks. After they disbanded, he joined Soul Intent, who released a single on their 1995 self-titled EP featuring Proof. Eminem and Proof then teamed up with 4 other rappers to form the Dirty Dozen, D12, who released their first album Devil's Night in 2001. Eminem had his first run-in with the law at age 20, when he was arrested for his involvement in a drive-by shooting with a paintball gun. The case was dismissed when the victim did not appear in court. Eminem was soon signed to Jeff and Mark Bass's FBT Productions, and recorded his debut album Infinite for their independent web entertainment label. The album was a commercial failure upon its release in 1996. One lyrical subject of Infinite was his struggle to raise his newborn daughter, Haley Jade Scott Mathers, on little money. During this period, Eminem's rhyming style, primarily inspired by rappers Nas, Eminem and AZ, lacked the comically violent slant for which he later became known. Detroit disc jockeys largely ignored Infinite, and the feedback Eminem did receive, "Why don't you go into rock and roll?" led him to craft angrier, moodier tracks. At this time Eminem and Kim Scott lived in a crime-ridden neighborhood, and their house was robbed several times. Eminem cooked and washed dishes for minimum wage at Gilbert Lodge, a family-style restaurant at St. Clair Shores. His former boss described him as becoming a model employee, as he worked 60 hours a week for 6 months after Haley's birth. He was fired shortly before Christmas, and later said, "It was, like, 5 days before Christmas, which is Haley's birthday. I had, like, $40 to get her something." After the release of Infinite, his personal problems and substance abuse culminated in his suicide attempt. By March 1997 he was fired from Gilbert's Lodge for the last time, and lived in his mother's mobile home with Kim and Haley. 1998 to 1999, Introduction to Slim Shady. The Slim Shady LP and rise to success. Eminem attracted more attention when he developed Slim Shady, a sadistic, violent alter ego. The character allowed him to express his anger with lyrics about drugs, rape, and murder. In the spring of 1997 he recorded his debut EP, the Slim Shady EP, which was released that winter by Web Entertainment. The EP, with frequent references to drug use, sexual acts, mental instability and violence, also explored the more serious themes of dealing with poverty and marital and family difficulties and revealed his direct, self-deprecating response to criticism. Hip-hop magazine The Source featured Eminem in its unsigned hype column in March 1998. Eminem left at the Arco Arena for the Up in Smoke tour, June 2000. After he was evicted from his home, Eminem went to Los Angeles to compete in the 1997 Rap Olympics, an annual, nationwide battle rap competition. He placed second, and Interscope record staff in attendance sent a copy of the Slim Shady EP to company CEO Jimmy Iovine. Iovine played the tape for record producer Dr. Dre, founder of Aftermath Entertainment and founding member of hip-hop group NWA. Dre recalled, "In my entire career in the music industry, I have never found anything from a demo tape or a CD. When Jimmy played this, I said, find him now." He would later state on the fourth and last episode of The Defined Ones, "I was like, what the fuck? And who the fuck is that?" Expressing his shock towards Mathers' rapping talent, although his associates criticized him for hiring a white rapper, he was confident in his decision, "I don't give a fuck if you're purple. If you can kick it, I'm working with you. Your license has expired, or you do not have a valid license verification file. Please contact our sales support team for more information." Eminem had idolized Dre since listening to NWA as a teenager, and was nervous about working with him on an album. "I didn't want to be starstruck or kiss his ass too much. I'm just a little white boy from Detroit. I had never seen stars, let alone Dr. Dre." He became more comfortable working with Dre after a series of productive recording sessions. Eminem released the Slim Shady LP in February 1999. Although it was one of the year's most popular albums, certified triple platinum by the end of the year, he was accused of imitating the style and subject matter of underground rapper Cage. The album's popularity was accompanied by controversy over its lyrics. In '97, Bonnie and Clyde, Eminem describes a trip with his infant daughter when he disposes of his wife's body, and in Guilty Conscience, which encourages a man to murder his wife and her lover. Guilty Conscience marked the beginning of a friendship and musical bond between Dr. Dre and Eminem. The label mates later collaborated on a number of hit songs, Forgot About Dre and What's the Difference, while also providing uncredited vocals on the Watcher from Dr. Dre's album 2001, Bitch Please 2 from the Marshall Mathers LP, Say What You Say from The Eminem Show, Encore Curtains Down from Encore, and Old Time Sick and Crack a Bottle from Relapse, and Dre made at least one guest appearance on each of Eminem's Aftermath albums. The Slim Shady LP has been certified quadruple platinum by the RIAA. 2000 to 2002, The Marshall Mathers LP, Lyrical Conflicts and The Eminem Show. Eminem and Proof at Voodoo Experience in October 2000. The Marshall Mathers LP was released in May 2000. It sold 1,760,000 copies in its first week, breaking U.S. records held by Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style for fastest-selling hip-hop album and Britney Spears' Baby One More Time for fastest-selling solo album. The first single from the album, The Real Slim Shady, was a success despite controversies about Eminem's insults and dubious claims about celebrities, for example, that Christina Aguilera had performed oral sex on Fred Durst and Carson Daly. In his second single, The Way I Am, he reveals the pressure from his record company to top My Name Is. Although Eminem parodied shock rocker Marilyn Manson in the music video for My Name Is, they are reportedly on good terms. Manson is mentioned in The Way I Am, appeared in its music video and has performed a live remix of the song with Eminem. In the third single, Stan, which samples Dido's Thank You, Eminem tries to deal with his new fame, assuming the persona of a deranged fan who kills himself and his pregnant girlfriend, mirroring '97 Bonnie and Clyde from the Slim Shady LP. Q called Stan the third greatest rap song of all time, and it was ranked 10th in a top 40-charts.com survey. This song has since been ranked 296th on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time list. In July 2000, Eminem was the first white artist to appear on the cover of The Source. The Marshall Mathers LP was certified diamond by the RIAA in March 2011 and sold 32 million copies worldwide. Eminem performed with Elton John at the 43rd Grammy Awards ceremony in 2001, with the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, GLAAD, an organization which considered Eminem's lyrics homophobic, condemning John's decision to perform with Eminem. Entertainment Weekly placed the appearance on its end-of-decade best-of list. It was the hug heard round the world. Eminem, under fire for homophobic lyrics, shared the stage with a gay icon for a performance of Stan that would have been memorable in any context. On February 21, the day of the awards ceremony, GLAAD held a protest outside the Staples Center, the ceremony's venue. In 2001, Eminem appeared in the Up in Smoke tour with rappers Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, XCIBIT and Ice Cube, in the Family Values tour with Limp Bizkit, headlining the Anger Management tour with Papa Roach, Ludacris and XCIBIT. The Eminem Show was released in May 2002. It was another success, reaching number 1 on the charts and selling over 1.332 million copies during its first full week. The album's single, Without Me, denigrates boy bands, Limp Bizkit, Dick and Lynn Cheney, Moby and others. The Eminem Show, certified diamond by the RIAA, examines the effects of Eminem's rise to fame, his relationship with his wife and daughter, and his status in the hip-hop community, addressing an assault charge brought by a bouncer he saw kissing his wife in 2000. Although several tracks are clearly angry, Stephen Thomas Erlewine of AllMusic found the Eminem show less inflammatory than the Marshall Mathers LP. L. Brent Bozell III, who had criticized the Marshall Mathers LP for misogynistic lyrics, noted the Eminem show's extensive use of obscenity and called Eminem a mime for the prevalence of the word motherfucker on the album. The Eminem Show sold 30 million copies worldwide and was the best-selling album of 2002. 2003 to 2007, Encore, more lyrical conflicts and musical hiatus. Eminem on stage, with blonde hair and wearing a suit, on the anger management tour promoting Encore. On December 8, 2003, the United States Secret Service said that it was looking into allegations that Eminem had threatened the President of the United States. The cause for concern was the lyrics of "We as Americans, fuck money / I don't rap for dead presidents / I'd rather see the president dead / it's never been said, but I set precedents," which was later released on a bonus CD with the deluxe edition of Encore. Also in 2003, Eminem, a lifelong fan of Tupac, provided production work for 3 tracks on the Tupac Resurrection soundtrack. He would follow this up the next year by producing 12 of the 16 tracks on Tupac's Loyal to the Game album. Encore, released in 2004, was another success. Its sales were partially driven by the first single, Just Lose It, which contained slurs about Michael Jackson. On October 12, 2004, a week after the release of Just Lose It, Jackson phoned the Los Angeles-based Steve Harvey radio show to report his displeasure with its video, which parodies Jackson's child molestation trial, plastic surgery and the 1984 incident when Jackson's hair caught fire during the filming of a commercial. In the song, Eminem says, "That's not a stab at Michael / that's just a metaphor / I'm just psycho." Many of Jackson's friends and supporters spoke out against the video, including Stevie Wonder, who described it as kicking a man while he's down, and Steve Harvey, who said, "Eminem has lost his ghetto pass. We want the pass back." The video also parodied Pee Wee Herman, MC Hammer and Madonna during her Blonde Ambition period. Weird Al Yankovic, who parodied the Eminem song Lose Yourself on Couch Potato for his 2003 album Poodle Hat, told the Chicago Sun-Times about Jackson's protest. "Last year, Eminem forced me to halt production on the video for my Lose Yourself parody because he somehow thought that it would be harmful to his image or career. So the irony of the situation with Michael is not lost on me." Although Black Entertainment Television stopped playing the video, MTV announced that it would continue to air it. The source, through CEO Raymond Benzino Scott, called for the video to be pulled, the song removed from the album, and Eminem to apologize publicly to Jackson. In 2007, Jackson and Sony bought Famous Music from Viacom, giving him the rights to songs by Eminem, Shakira, Beck and others. Despite its lead single's humorous theme, Encore explored serious subject matter with the anti-war song Mosh. The song criticized President George W. Bush as "this weapon of mass destruction that we call our president," with lyrics including "Fuck Bush." On October 25, 2004, a week before the 2004 U.S. presidential election, Eminem released the video for Mosh on the internet. In it, Eminem gathers an army, including rapper Lloyd Banks, of Bush administration victims and leads them to the White House. When they break in, it is learned that they are there to register to vote. The video ends with "Vote Tuesday, November 2nd." After Bush's re-election, the video's ending was changed to Eminem and the protesters invading the White House during a speech by the president. Also in 2004 Eminem launched a satellite music channel, Shade 45, on Sirius Radio, which was described by his manager as essentially a destination to get and hear things that other people aren't playing. In 2005, industry insiders speculated that Eminem was considering ending his rapping career after 6 years and several multi-platinum albums. Rumors began early in the year about a double album to be released late that year, entitled The Funeral. The Greatest Hits album, entitled Curtain Call, The Hits, was released in December. In July the Detroit Free Press reported a possible final bow for Eminem as a solo performer, quoting members of his inner circle as saying that he would embrace the roles of producer and label executive. The day of Curtain Call, The Hits' release, Eminem appeared on WKQI's Mojo in the Morning Show. Denying that he was retiring, he suggested he would take a break as an artist. "I'm at a point in my life right now where I feel like I don't know where my career is going. This is the reason that we called it Curtain Call, because this could be the final thing. We don't know." The following year, Eminem released Eminem Presents, The Re-Up on Shady Records. In 2005, Eminem was ranked 58th in Bernard Goldberg's book, 100 People Who Are Screwing Up America. Goldberg cited a 2001 column by Bob Herbert of the New York Times, in which Herbert wrote, "In Eminem's world, all women are whores and he is eager to rape and murder them," and this song No One's Illa from the Slim Shady EP is examples of Eminem's misogyny. That summer Eminem began his first U.S. concert tour in 3 years, with the Anger Management 3 tour featuring 50 Cent, G-Unit, Lil Jon, D12, Obi Trice and The Alchemist. In August he cancelled the European leg of the tour, later announcing that he had entered drug rehabilitation for treatment of a dependency on sleep medication. Curtain Call, The Hits was released December 6, 2005 by Aftermath Entertainment. Thank you for using voice text. You need to contact our sales support team to obtain a valid verification file. During its first week it sold nearly 441,000 copies in the U.S., and was Eminem's 4th consecutive #1 album on the Billboard Hot 200. The album has been certified double platinum by the RIAA. In September 2007, Eminem called New York radio station WQHD during an interview with 50 Cent, saying that he was in limbo and debating about when, or if, he would release another album. "I'm always working, I'm always in the studio. It feels good right now, the energy of the label. For a while, I didn't want to go back to the studio. I went through some personal things. I'm coming out of those personal things and it feels good." 2008 to 2009, Comeback, Relapse and Refill. Eminem on stage in a white shirt, gray jacket and baseball cap, with D12 in May 2009. Eminem appeared on a Shade 45 series channel in September 2008, saying, "Right now I'm kinda just concentrating on my own stuff. For right now I'm just banging out tracks and producing a lot of stuff. You know, the more I keep producing the better it seems like I get 'cause I just start knowing stuff." Interscope confirmed that a new would be released in spring 2009. In December 2008, Eminem provided more details about the album, entitled Relapse. "Me and Dre are back in the lab like the old days, man. Dre will end up producing the majority of the tracks on Relapse. We are up to our old mischievous ways. Let's just leave it at that." According to a March 5, 2009 press release, Eminem would release 2 new albums that year. Relapse, the first, was released on May 19. Its first single and music video, We Made You, had been released on April 7. Although Relapse did not sell as well as Eminem's previous albums and received mixed reviews, It was a commercial success and re-established his presence in the hip-hop world. It sold more than 5 million copies worldwide. During the 2009 MTV Movie Awards, Sacha Baron Cohen descended on the audience in an angel costume. He landed buttocks first on Eminem, who stormed out of the ceremony. 3 days later, Eminem said that the stunt had been staged. On October 30th he headlined at the Voodoo Experience in New Orleans, his first full performance of the year. Eminem's act included several songs from Relapse, many of his older hits and an appearance by D12. On November 19th, he announced on his website that Relapse, Refill would be released on December 21st. The album was a re-release of Relapse with 7 bonus tracks, including Forever and Taking My Ball. Eminem described the CD. "I want to deliver more material for the fans this year like I originally planned. Hopefully these tracks on the Refill will tide the fans over until we put out Relapse 2 next year. I got back in with Dre and then a few more producers, including Just Blaze, and went in a completely different direction which made me start from scratch. The new tracks started to sound very different than the tracks I originally intended to be on Relapse 2, but I still want the other stuff to be heard." 2010 to 2011, Recovery and Bad Meets Evil Reunion. On April 14, 2010, Eminem tweeted, "There is no Relapse 2 inches." Although his followers thought he was not releasing an album, he had changed its title to Recovery and confirmed this by tweeting Recovery with a link to his website. He said, "I had originally planned for Relapse 2 to come out last year. But as I kept recording and working with new producers, the idea of a sequel to Relapse started to make less and less sense to me, and I wanted to make a completely new album. The music on Recovery came out very different from Relapse, and I think it deserves its own title." His 7th album was released on June 18 in the US. Recovery sold 741,000 copies during its first week, topping the Billboard 200 chart. Eminem's 6th consecutive US #1 album also topped the charts in several other countries. Recovery remained atop the Billboard 200 chart for 5 consecutive weeks of a 7-week total. Billboard reported that it was the best-selling album of 2010, making Eminem the first artist in Nielsen SoundScan history with 2 year-end best-selling albums. Recovery is the best-selling digital album in history. 86. Its first single, Not Afraid, was released on April 29 and debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100. Its music video was released on June 4. Not Afraid was followed by Love the Way You Lie, which debuted at number 2 before rising to the top. Although Love the Way You Lie was the best-selling 2010 single in the United Kingdom, it did not reach number 1, the first time this has happened in the UK since 1969. Despite criticism of its inconsistency, Recovery received positive reviews from most critics. As of November 21, 2010, the album had US sales of 3 million copies. 90. Recovery was the best-selling album worldwide in 2010, joining 2002's bestseller The Eminem Show to give Eminem 2 worldwide year-end #1 albums. With Recovery, Eminem broke the record for the most successive US #1 albums by a solo artist. Eminem and Rihanna on stage in front of 3 large theater screens, singing Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna at the 2010 E3 Expo party. He appeared at the 2010 BET Awards, performing Not Afraid and Airplanes, Part 2 with B.O.B. and Keisha Cole. Later that year, he performed at the Activision E3 concert. In June, Eminem and Jay-Z announced they would perform together in Detroit and New York, at concerts called the Home and Home Tour. The first 2 concerts quickly sold out, prompting an additional show in each city. That called Eminem the #1 rapper of the 21st century. He opened the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards on September 12, performing Not Afraid and Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna singing the choruses. Due to the success of Recovery and the Home and Home Tour, Eminem was named the 2010 Hottest MC in the Game by MTV and MC of the Year by the online magazine Hip Hop DX. He and Rihanna again collaborated on Love the Way You Lie, Part 2, the sequel of their hit single. Unlike the original, Rihanna is the lead vocalist and it is sung from the female perspective. In December 2010, the great Eminem Recovery was #1 on Billboard's Top 25 Music Moments of 2010. He appeared at the 2011 Grammy Awards on February 13, performing Love the Way You Lie, Part 2, with Rihanna and Adam Levine and I Need a Doctor with Dr. Dre and Skylar Grey. That month it was announced that Spacebound would be the fourth single from Recovery, with a music video featuring former porn star Sasha Grey. The video was released June 24 on the iTunes Store. In 2010, Eminem again began collaborating with Royce da 5 9 Inches on their first EP as Bad Meets Evil. The duo formed in 1999. The EP, Hell, the sequel, was released on June 14, 2011. Eminem was featured on Royce da 5 9 Inches' writer's blog, released on April 8, 2011. On May 3 they released the lead single Fast Lane from their upcoming EP, and the music video was filmed. In March 2011, within days of each other, The Eminem Show and the Marshall Mathers LP were certified diamond by the RIAA. Eminem is the only rapper with 2 diamond-certified albums. With more than 60 million likes he was the most followed person on Facebook, outscoring Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Rihanna and Michael Jackson. Eminem was the first artist in 5 years with 2 #1 albums, Recovery and Hell, the sequel, in a 12-month period. Early in 2011 he leaked 2.0 Boys, on which Yellow Wolf and Slaughterhouse collaborated when they signed with Shady Records in January, and performed it in April. Bad Meets Evil released their next single, Lighters, on July 6 and its music video in late August. On August 6, Eminem performed several songs from throughout his career at Lollapalooza with the artists who had been featured on each song. 2012 to 2013, the Marshall Mathers LP2, Eminem announced on May 24, 2012, that he was working on his next album, scheduled for release the following year. Without a title or release date, it was included on a number of most anticipated albums of 2013 Inches lists, including MTV. Complex ranked it 6th, and XXL 5th. On August 14, Survival, featuring Liz Rodriguez and produced by DJ Khaled, premiered in the multiplayer trailer for the video game Call of Duty, Ghosts. According to a press release, the first single from Eminem's 8th album would be released soon. During the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, it was announced that the album would be entitled the Marshall Mathers LP2, following the Marshall Mathers LP, and was scheduled for release on November 5. Eminem stayed in t-shirt, shorts and baseball cap, at the 2014 Lollapalooza in Chicago. Its lead single, Berserk, was released on August 25 and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. 3 more singles followed, Survival, appearing on the Call of Duty, Ghosts trailer, Rap God and the Monster, with Rihanna. The album was released on November 5 by Aftermath Entertainment, Shady Records and Interscope Records. Its standard version had 16 tracks, and the deluxe version included a second disc with 5 additional tracks. The Marshall Mathers LP2 was Eminem's seventh album to debut atop the Billboard 200, and had the year's second-largest first-week sales. He was the first artist since the Beatles to have 4 singles in the top 20 of the Billboard Hot 100. In the United Kingdom, the Marshall Mathers LP2 debuted at number 1 on the UK Albums Chart. The first American artist with 7 consecutive UK number 1 albums, he is tied with the Beatles for second place for the most consecutive chart-topping UK albums. The album secured Eminem's position as Canada's best-selling artist, and was 2013's best-selling album. On November 3, Eminem was named the first YouTube Music Awards Artist of the Year, and a week later he received the Global Icon Award at the 2013 MTV EMA Music Awards. On June 10, it was announced that Eminem was the first artist to receive 2 Digital Diamond certifications, sales and streams of 10 million and above, by the RIAA, for Not Afraid and Love the Way You Lie. On July 11 and 12, Eminem played 2 concerts in Wembley Stadium. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Please contact our sales support team in order to obtain a valid license for commercial use. At the 57th Grammy Awards, he received Best Rap Album Award for the Marshall Mathers LP2 and Best Rap Song Collaboration, with Rihanna, for The Monster. 2014 to 2016, Shady XV, Vinyl Box Set, and Southpaw. Eminem performs at the Concert for Valor in Washington, D.C. in 2014. In the summer of 2014, Eminem and Rosenberg began using the hashtag #ShadX on social networking sites, and Eminem wore a t-shirt with the hashtag on stage. This was later revealed to be the name of an upcoming Shady Records compilation. Shortly afterwards, the first single from the album, Guts Over Fear, featuring singer-songwriter Psy, was released, and the album's track list was released on October 29. Shady Records released a cipher to promote the album, in which Eminem did a 7-minute freestyle. Detroit vs. Everybody, the album's second single, with Eminem, Do Loaf, Roy Style 5 9 Inches, Danny Brown, Big Sean and Trick Trick, was released on November 11. Shady XV, released on November 24 during Black Friday week, consists of 1 greatest hits disc and 1 disc of new material by Shady Records artists such as D12, Slaughterhouse, Bad Meets Evil and Yellow Wolf. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart, with first-week sales of 138,000 copies in the United States. The official Eminem box set, a career-spanning, 10-disc vinyl box set, was released on March 12, 2015. This set includes 7 of Eminem's 8 studio albums, excluding Infinite, the 8 Mile soundtrack, the compilation Eminem Presents, the Re-Up, and the Greatest Hits collection Curtain Call, The Hits. Early in the year, it was announced that he would appear on Tech N9ne's Beat 'Em, Worldwide Choppers 2. The song, also featuring Chris Calico, was released on April 20. Eminem also appeared on Yellow Wolf's Best Friend, the single from Love Story. Eminem is the executive producer of the soundtrack on the sports drama Southpaw, with Shady Records. The first single from the soundtrack, called Phenomenal, was released on June 2, 2015. Another single, Kings Never Die by Eminem featuring Gwen Stefani, was released on July 10, 2015 on YouTube via Eminem's Vevo account. Eminem was the first interview of Zane Lowe in Beats One. The interview streamed online on the Beats One radio on July 1, 2015. Eminem appeared on the public access show Only in Monroe, produced in Monroe, Michigan, and was interviewed by guest host Stephen Colbert for an episode that aired July 1, 2015. In the episode, Eminem sang snippets of Bob Seger's songs at Colbert's prompting and briefly discussed Southpaw. In June 2015, it was revealed that he will serve as the executive producer and music supervisor on the TV series Motor City, whose premise will be based upon the 2002 film Narc. Eminem performing in 2016. In September 2016, Eminem was featured on Skylar Grey's song, Kill For You, which appears on her album, Natural Causes. On October 19, 2016, Eminem released a new song called Campaign Speech, a political hip-hop song, and announced he was working on a new album. On November 17, 2016, Eminem released a remastered version of Infinite on his YouTube VEVO channel. On November 22, 2016, Eminem released a trailer for a 10-minute short documentary called Partners in Rhyme, The True Story of Infinite. 2017 present, Revival and Kamikaze. In February 2017, Eminem appeared on No Favors, a track from Big Sean's album I Decided. In the song, Eminem calls the newly elected President Donald Trump a bitch, and also raps about raping conservative social and political commentator Ann Coulter, who is a Trump supporter, with a variety of foreign objects. Coulter responded to the lyrics, stating, "I think it's unfortunate that the left, from Berkeley to Eminem with his rap songs, has normalized violence against women, as Eminem has done." Eminem participated in the 2017 BET Hip Hop Awards annual cypher, using his verse, a freestyle rap called The Storm, to further criticize Trump and the for, among other things, Trump's focus on National Football League players' protests during the Star-Spangled Banner over Hurricane Maria recovery efforts and lack of gun control reform in the wake of the 2017 Las Vegas shooting. Eminem ended the cypher by giving an ultimatum saying that Trump supporters cannot be his fans. The verse received wide praise among other rappers following its release. In October 2017, Eminem appeared on Revenge, a track from Pink's album Beautiful Trauma. Starting in late October, Eminem and Paul Rosenberg began teasing what fans speculated was the title of a new album titled Revival, in the form of advertisements for a fake medication of the same name. Later in November, the first single Walk on Water was released, which featured Beyoncé. The song was first performed by Eminem at the 2017 MTV Europe Music Awards on November 12, featuring Skylar Grey. He appeared on Saturday Night Live on November 18, performing Walk on Water, Stan and Love the Way You Lie with Skylar Grey. On November 28, Dr. Dre posted a video confirming the album's release date as December 15, 2017. On December 8, Eminem released a promotional single titled Untouchable, which featured a sample from the duo Cheech and Chong. Despite an online leak of the album 2 days prior, Revival was released as planned on December 15. On January 5, 2018, the second single River was released, which featured Ed Sheeran. It became Eminem's 8th consecutive album to top the U.S. Billboard 200 upon release, with 197,000 copies sold in its first week. As a result, he became the first musical act to have 8 entries in a row debut atop the chart. The album was met with mixed reviews from music critics. In 2018, an extended edition of Nowhere Fast with Kehlani and a remix of Chloroseptic featuring 2 Chainz and Fresher were released from Revival. On August 31, 2018, Eminem released his previously unannounced 10th studio album Kamikaze, making it his second full-length studio album in 8 months. Artistry, influences, style, and rapping technique. Eminem has cited several MCs as influencing his rapping style, including Isham, Kool G Rap, Mesta Ace, Big Daddy Kane, Nucleus, Ice-T, Mantronics, Mau Mau, On the Message, LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Rakim and Boogie Down Productions. In How to Rap, Gorilla Black notes that Eminem studied other MCs to hone his rapping technique. Eminem listened to everything and that's what made him one of the greats. In the book, other MCs also praise aspects of his rapping technique. Varied, humorous subject matter, connecting with his audience, carrying a concept over a series of albums, complex rhyme schemes, bending words so they rhyme, multisyllabic rhymes, many rhymes to a bar, complex rhythms, clear in the use of melody and syncopation. Eminem is known to write most of his lyrics on paper, documented in The Way I Am, taking several days or a week to craft lyrics, being and stacking vocals. Examples of hip-hop subgenres that Eminem's music has been described as include horrorcore, comedy hip-hop, and hardcore hip-hop. Alter egos. Eminem uses alter egos in his songs for different rapping styles and subject matter. His best-known alter ego, Slim Shady, first appeared on the Slim Shady EP. In this persona his songs are violent and dark, with a comic twist. Eminem downplayed Slim Shady on Recovery because he felt it did not fit the album's theme. Collaborations and productions. See also, Eminem Production Discography and Eminem Discography section. Guest appearances. Although Eminem usually collaborates with Aftermath Entertainment and Shady Records rappers such as Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, D12, Obi Trice and Yellow Wolf, he has also worked with Redman, Kid Rock, DMX, Lil Wayne, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, Drake, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, XCIBIT, Method Man, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, Sticky Fingers, T.I. and Young Jeezy. Eminem rapped a verse in a live performance of Busta Rhymes' Touch It remix at the June 27, 2006 BIT Music Awards. He appeared on Akon's single Smack That from Convicted, Lil Wayne's hit Drop the World, and My Life, the lead single from 50 Cent's Street King Immortal. Eminem was the executive producer of D12's first two albums, Devil's Night and D12 World, Obi Trice's Cheers and Second Rounds on Me and 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Tryin' and The Massacre. He has produced songs for other rappers, such as Jadakiss' Welcome to D Block, Jay-Z's Renegade and Moment of Clarity, Lloyd Banks' On Fire, Warrior Part 2 Inches and Hands Up, Tony Yayo's Drama Setter, Trick's Welcome to Detroit, and XCIBIT's My Name and Don't Approach Me. Most of the Eminem Show was produced by Eminem and his longtime collaborator, Jeff Bass, and Eminem co-produced Encore with Dr. Dre. In 2004 Eminem was co-executive producer of Tupac's posthumous album Loyal to the Game with Shocker's mother, Afeni. He produced the UK #1 single Ghetto Gospel, featuring Elton John, The Crossed from the Nas album Gods and 8 tracks on Obi Trice's 2006 Second Rounds on Me, also appearing on There They Go. Eminem produced several tracks on Trick's The Villain, appearing on Who Want It, and produced 4 tracks on Cash's 2013 album The County Hound 2. Eminem is considered unusual in structuring his songs around the lyrics, rather than writing to beats. One exception was Stan, which came from an idea and scratch track produced by the 45 King. After doing little production on Relapse and Recovery, Eminem produced a significant portion of the Marshall Mathers LP too. He said about producing his own music, "Sometimes, I may get something in my head, like an idea or the mood of something that I would want, and I'm not always gonna get that by going through different tracks that other people have made. They don't know what's in my head. I think maybe it helps, a little bit, with diversity, the sound of it, but also, I would get something in my head and want to be able to lay down that idea from scratch. Comparisons with other artists. As a white performer prominent in a genre influenced by black artists, Eminem has been compared, much to his chagrin, to Elvis Presley, and as a lyricist and as aforementioned to Bob Dylan. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Rapper Asher Roth has been compared to Eminem, and Roth devoted a song on his album, As I Am to him, which he took offense to. The accomplished trumpeter Nicholas Payton has called Eminem the Big Spotterbuck of hip-hop. Eminem and Christian hip-hop artist KJ52 have been compared to each other, with KJ52 called his Christian counterpart. KJ52's single, Dear Slim, was controversial with Eminem fans when it appeared on Total Request Live. Although he said the song was not intended to be disrespectful, KJ52 received hate mail and the song was number 26 on VH1's Top 40 Worst Moments in Hip-Hop list. Personal life, family. Eminem has been scrutinized, as a rapper and personally. He was married twice to Kimberly and Kim Scott. He met Kim in high school while he stood on a table with his shirt off rapping LL Cool J's I'm Bad. Kim and her twin sister Dawn had run away from home. They moved in with Eminem and his mother when he was 15, and he began an on-and-off relationship with Kim in 1989. Their daughter Haley was born on December 25, 1995. The two were married in 1999 and divorced in 2001. Although Eminem told Rolling Stone in 2002, I would rather have a baby through my penis than get married again, he and Kim briefly remarried in January 2006. He filed for divorce in early April, agreeing to joint custody of Haley. He also has custody of Dawn's daughter Elena and Whitney, Kim's daughter from another relationship. In early 2010, Eminem denied tabloid reports that he and Kim had renewed their romantic relationship. However, in the same statement his representative also confirmed that they now maintain a friendly relationship. He had legal custody of his younger half-brother Nathan. In his 2014 song Headlights, Eminem apologized to, and reiterated his love for, his mother. Legal issues. In 1999, Eminem's mother sued him for about $10 million for slandering her on the Slim Shady LP, receiving about $1,600 in damages in 2001. On June 3, 2000, Eminem was arrested during an altercation with Douglas Dale at a car audio store in Royal Oak, Michigan, when he pulled out an unloaded gun and pointed it at the ground. The next day, in Warren, Michigan, he was arrested again for assaulting John Guerrera in the parking lot of the Hard Rock Cafe when he saw him kissing his wife. Eminem regretted the Guerrera assault and the kiss skit on the Eminem Show. He was charged for possession of a concealed weapon and assault, pleaded guilty and received 2 years probation. However, Guerrera's assault charge was dropped as part of the plea agreement. On July 7, 2000, Kim attempted suicide by slashing her wrists, and later sued Eminem for defamation after describing her violent death in Kim. On October 26, 2000, Eminem was scheduled to perform at Toronto's Skydome when Ontario Attorney General Jim Flaherty said that Eminem should not be allowed to enter the country. I personally don't want anyone coming to Canada who will come here and advocate violence against women, he said. Flaherty also said that he was disgusted when he read the lyrics of Kill You, which includes the line slut, you think I won't choke no horse / till the vocal cords don't work in her throat no more. Although public reaction to Flaherty's position was generally negative, with barring Eminem from the country considered a free speech issue, Liberal MPP Michael Bryant suggested that hate crime charges be brought against Eminem for advocating violence against women in his lyrics. Robert Everett Green wrote in a Globe and Mail editorial, "Being offensive is Eminem's job description." Eminem's Toronto concert went on as planned. Sanitation worker Dangelo Bailey sued Eminem for $1 million in 2001, accusing him of invading his privacy by publicizing information placing him in a false light in Brain Damage, a song which portrays him as a violent school bully. Although Bailey admitted picking on Eminem in school, he said he merely bumped him and gave him a little shove. The lawsuit was dismissed on October 20, 2003. Judge Deborah Servito, who wrote a portion of her opinion in rap-like rhyming verse, ruled that it was clear to the public that the lyrics were exaggerated. On June 28, 2001, Eminem was sentenced to 1 year's probation and community service and was fined about $2,000 on weapon charges stemming from an argument with an employee of Psychopathic Records. On March 31, 2002, French jazz pianist Jacques Lussier filed a $10 million lawsuit against Eminem and Dr. Dre, claiming that the beat for Kill You was taken from his instrumental Pulsion. Lussier demanded that sales of the Marshall Mathers LP be halted, and any remaining copies destroyed. The case was later settled out of court. On December 8, 2003, the United States Secret Service reported that it was looking into allegations that Eminem threatened U.S. President George W. Bush and We as Americans, an unreleased bootleg at the time, with the lyrics, "Fuck money, I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead, it's never been said but I said presidents." The incident was included in the video for Mosh, as a newspaper clipping on a wall with articles about unfortunate incidents in Bush's career. We as Americans eventually appeared on Encore's deluxe edition bonus disc, with altered lyrics. In 2007, Eminem's music publishing company, 8 Mile Style, and Martin-affiliated sued Apple Incorporated and Aftermath Entertainment, claiming that Aftermath was not authorized to negotiate a deal with Apple for digital downloads of 93 Eminem songs on Apple's iTunes. The case against Apple was settled shortly after the trial began, in late September 2009. In July 2010, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit ruled in FBT Productions, LLC v. Aftermath Records that FBT Productions and Eminem were owed a royalty of 50% of Aftermath's net revenue from licensing his recordings to companies such as Apple, Sprint Corporation, Nextel Communications, Singular and T-Mobile. In March 2011, the Supreme Court of the United States declined to hear the case. In October 2013, Eminem sampled Chicago-based rap group Hot Still's 2008 viral hit, "Lookin' Boy," for his 2013 hit single, "Rap God." The group claims that Eminem did not receive permission to use the sample, nor did he credit or compensate them. In November 2013, Hot Still's released a diss track towards Eminem titled "Rap Fraud," where they sample several of his songs and criticize him for not crediting them. In January 2015, TMZ reported that Hot Still's was suing Eminem and his label, Shady Records, for $8 million, for using the 25-second sample of "Lookin' Boy" on his song "Rap God," without their permission. Health issues. Eminem has spoken publicly about his addiction to prescription drugs, including Vicodin, Ambien and Valium. According to friend and fellow D12 member Proof, Eminem first straightened out in 2002. During the production of 8 Mile, Eminem, working 16 hours a day, developed insomnia. An associate gave him an Ambien tablet which knocked him out, encouraging him to obtain a prescription. This was Eminem's first experience of drug addiction, which would affect him for several years. Near the end of production on Encore, He would just go into the studio and goof off with a pocket full of pills. Eminem began taking the drugs to feel normal, taking a ridiculous amount. I could consume anywhere from 40 to 60 Valium V codeine, maybe 30 inches. The drugs would put him to sleep for no more than 2 hours, after which he would take more. Eminem's weight increased to 230 pounds, 100 kilograms, and he was regularly eating fast food. The kids behind the counter knew me, it wouldn't even faze them. Or I'd sit up at Denny's or Big Boy and just eat by myself. It was sad. Eminem became less recognizable due to his weight gain, and once overheard two teenagers arguing about whether or not it was him. Eminem ain't fat. In December 2007, Eminem was hospitalized after a methadone overdose he had first bought from a dealer who had told him it was just like V codeine, and easier on your liver. He continued to buy more, until he collapsed in his bathroom one night and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors there told him he had ingested the equivalent of 4 bags of heroin and was about 2 hours from dying. After missing Christmas with his children, Eminem checked himself out at the facility weak and not fully detoxed. He tore the meniscus in his knee after falling asleep on his sofa, requiring surgery. After he returned home, he had a seizure. His drug use ramped right back to where it was before within a month. Eminem began to attend church meetings to get clean, but after he was asked for autographs he sought help from a rehabilitation counselor. He began an exercise program which emphasized running. Elton John was a mentor during this period, calling Eminem once a week to check on him. In the book My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem, his mother stated that he has struggled with bipolar disorder throughout his life. She said it worsened after his ex-wife Kim Mathers gave birth to their daughter Haley. In April 2018, Eminem stated that he had been sober for 10 years. Allegations of homophobia. Some of Eminem's lyrics have been considered homophobic, and an Australian politician attempted to ban him from the country. Eminem denies the charge, saying that when he was growing up words such as faggot and queer were used generally in a derogatory manner and not specifically toward homosexuals. During a 60 Minutes interview, journalist Anderson Cooper explored the issue. Cooper, some of the lyrics, like, in the song Criminal you say my words are like a dagger with a jagged edge, that'll stab you in the head, whether you're a fag or les, or the homosex, hermaph or a transvest, pants or dress, hate fags? The answer's yes. Eminem, yeah, this scene I came up in. That word was thrown around so much, faggot was like thrown around constantly to each other, like in battling. Cooper, do you not like gay people? Eminem, no, I don't have any problem with nobody. This is a demo of voice text TTS. You know what I mean? I'm just like whatever. When the New York Times asked him about the legalization of same-sex marriage in Michigan in 2010, Eminem replied, I think if two people love each other, then what the hell? I think that everyone should have the chance to be equally miserable, if they want, adding that his overall look on things is a lot more mature than it used to be. Eminem was accused yet again of using homophobic words in his lyrics in Rap God, 2013, and explained I don't know how to say this without saying it how I've said it a million times. But that word, those kind of words, when I came up battle rapping or whatever, I never really equated those words. Legacy. Large graffiti picture of a serious-looking Eminem, Eminem graffiti in Shanghai. Eminem artwork in South Siascata Park. Eminem is considered one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. He was 83rd on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Artists of All and 79th on the VH1 100 Greatest Artists of All Time lists. In 2010, MTV Portugal ranked Eminem the 7th biggest icon in pop music history. He was the best-selling artist from 2000 to 2009 in the US according to Nielsen SoundScan, and has sold 47.4 million albums in the country. With global sales of 220 million records, he is one of the world's best-selling artists of all time. Eminem has over 10 billion views of his music videos on his YouTube Vevo page. In 2010, Eminem's music generated 94 million streams, more than any other musical artist, and in May 2014 Spotify called him the most streamed artist of all time. According to Billboard, 2 of Eminem's albums are among the top 5 best-selling albums from 2000 to 2010. Love the Way You Lie, 11 Platinum, Lose Yourself, 10x Platinum, and Not Afraid, 10 Platinum, are all certified diamond by the RIAA, making him the first artist with 2 then 3 digital diamond certified songs in the US. In the UK, Eminem has sold over 12.5 million records. As of June 2014, Eminem is the second best-selling male artist of the Nielsen SoundScan era, the 6th best-selling artist in the United States and the best-selling hip-hop artist, with sales of 45.1 million albums and 42 million tracks, including 31 million digital single certifications. Eminem has had 10 #1 albums on the Billboard 200, 7 solo, 5 original albums and 2 compilations, 2 with D12 and 1 with Bad Meets Evil. The Eminem Show, the Marshall Mathers LP, and Encore were ranked the 3rd, 7th and 40th best-selling albums of the 2000 to 2009 decade, respectively. Eminem has had 13 #1 singles worldwide. Eminem has been credited of rising the careers of rap protégés such as 50 Cent, Yellow Wolf, Stat Quo, Royce da 5 9 Inches, Cassius, Obi Trice, Bobby Creekwater, and rap groups such as D12 and Slaughterhouse. In August 2011, Eminem was called the King of Hip Hop by Rolling Stone, which analyzed album sales, R&B, hip hop and rap chart positions, YouTube views, social media, concert grosses, industry awards and critical ratings of solo rappers who released music from 2009 to the first half of 2011. His second major label album, the Marshall Mathers LP, was the fastest-selling solo album in U.S. history and was ranked one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time by Rolling Stone, Time and XXL. Rolling Stone ranked it the 7th best album of the first decade of the 21st century. The album's 3rd single, Stan, is one of Eminem's most critically acclaimed songs, with Pitchfork calling it a cultural milestone. A number of artists have cited Eminem as an influence, including Regina Spektor, the W.E.K.D., Crooked I, Tekken 9 Logic, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, T.I., B.O.B., Gene Aiko, 50 Cent, Usher, Earl Sweatshirt, Absol, Freddie Gibbs, Kendrick Lamar, Ed Sheeran, Lana Del Rey, Big Sean, J. Cole, Skylar Grey, Bubba Sparxxx, Asher Roth, Machine Gun Kelly, Yellow Wolf, Hobson, Tyler, The Creator, Hollywood Undead, Kiara, Chris Webby, Chance the Rapper, Stally, Royce da 5 9 Inches, Joe Budden, Tony Yayo, and The Game. Rappers David Banner, Wiz Khalifa, Drake, 50 Cent, Talib Kweli, Kool G Rap, Redman, Corrupt, Dr. Dre, N.O.R.E., Royce da 5 9 Inches, Rakim, Busta Rhymes, Nick Cannon, Yellow Wolf, and Jay-Z have each called Eminem one of the greatest rappers of all time. Honors and Awards, Main article, List of awards and nominations received by Eminem. He shared the 2002 Academy Award for Best Original Song for his song Lose Yourself, co-written with Jeff Bass and Louis Presto. His Academy Award win made him the first rapper to receive this award. Eminem has received 15 Grammy Awards, has been praised for his verbal energy and lyrical quality, and was ranked 9th on MTV's Greatest MCs of All Time list. In 2003, he was 13th on MTV's 22 Greatest Voices in Music and 82nd on Rolling Stone's Immortals list. In 2008, Vibrators named Eminem the best rapper alive. The Real Slim Shady, from Eminem's second Grammy-winning album, the Marshall Mathers LP, criticizes the award in its second verse, with Eminem believing at the time that negative opinion of his material would prevent him from ever winning one. Eminem received the Global Icon Award at the 2013 MTV Europe Music Awards in Amsterdam. Other ventures: Shady Records and D12. Main articles: Shady Records and D12. See also, Bad Meets Evil and Soul Intend. After Eminem's multi-platinum record sales, Interscope offered him his own label. He and Paul Rosenberg founded Shady Records in late 1999. Eminem signed his Detroit collective, D12, and rapper Obi Trice to the label and signed 50 Cent in a 2002 joint venture with Dr. Dre's Aftermath label. In 2003, Eminem and Dr. Dre added Atlanta rapper Stat Quo to the Shady Aftermath roster. DJ Green Lantern, Eminem's former DJ, was with Shady Records until a dispute related to the 50 Cent Jadakiss feud forced him to leave the label. The Alchemist is currently Eminem's tour DJ. In 2005, Eminem signed another Atlanta rapper, Bobby Creekwater, and West Coast rapper Cassius to Shady Records. On December 5, 2006, the compilation album Eminem Presents, The Re-Up was released on Shady Records. The project began as a mixtape, but when Eminem found the material better than expected, he released it as an album. The Re-Up was intended to introduce Stat Quo, Cassius and Bobby Creekwater. While he was recording Infinite, Eminem, Proof and Con Artists assembled a group of fellow rappers now known as D12, short for Detroit 12 or Dirty Dozen, who performed in a style similar to Wu-Tang Clan. In 2001, D12's debut album, Devil's Night, was released. The first single from the album was Shit on You, followed by Purple Pills, an ode to recreational drug use and fight music. Purple Pills was rewritten for radio and television, removing many of the song's references to drugs and sex, and renamed Purple Hills. After their debut, D12 took a 3-year break from the studio. They reunited in 2004 for their second album, D12 World, which included the hit singles My Band and How Come. American Psycho 2 Inches featuring Cypress Hill member, Be Real, was another popular hit. According to D12 member Bizarre, Eminem was not featured on his album Blue Cheese and Coney Island because he's busy doing his thing. In January 2014, Bass Brothers announced that D12 had returned to record at FBT Studio and they were working on an album with Eminem on at least 3 songs. Bizarre reported that he was still part of the group and that the album was scheduled for a 2014 release. Acting career: after small roles in the 2001 film The Wash and as an extra in the 1998 Korn music video Forgot the Life, during which he gave the band a demo tape, Eminem made his Hollywood debut in the quasi-autobiographical 2002 film 8 Mile. He said it was a representation of growing up in Detroit rather than an account of his life. He recorded several new songs for the soundtrack, including Lose Yourself, which won an Academy Award for Best Original Song in 2003 and became the longest-running #1 hip-hop single in history. Eminem was absent from the ceremony, and co-composer Louis Presto accepted the award. Eminem has voiced the video game 50 Cent, Bulletproof, as an aging, corrupt, Ebonics-speaking police officer, and guested on the Comedy Central television show Crank Yankers and a web cartoon, The Slim Shady Show. He was signed to star in an unmade film version of Hit Gun, Will Travel, and was considered for the role of David Rice in the 2008 film Jumper. Eminem had a cameo appearance, arguing with Ray Romano, in the 2009 film Funny People. He played himself in the Entourage Season 7 finale Lose Yourself with Christina Aguilera. Although Eminem was offered the lead role in the 2013 science fiction film Elysium, he turned it down because director Neil Blomkamp would not change its location from Los Angeles to Detroit. Eminem had a cameo appearance as himself in the 2014 film The Interview. During an interview with the main character, Dave Skylark, James Franco, Eminem satirically comes out as homosexual. Memoirs. Eminem's autobiography, The Way I Am, was published October 21, 2008. Detailing his struggles with poverty, drugs, fame, heartbreak and depression, it includes stories of his rise to fame, commentary about past controversies and original lyric sheets from Stan and the Real Slim Shady. An autobiography of Eminem's mother, My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem, was published the following month, in which Debbie Nelson describes her childhood and adolescence, meeting Eminem's father and her son's rise to, and struggles with, fame. Advertising and charity. Eminem appeared in 2 commercials which were shown during Super Bowl XLV. In the first, a 1-minute spot for Lipton's Brisk Iced Tea, he is a claymation figure. In the second, a 2-minute ad, the longest in Super Bowl history at the time, for the Chrysler 200, Eminem drives through Detroit, with Lose Yourself as the soundtrack, to his show at the Fox Theater. He established the Marshall Mathers Foundation to aid disadvantaged youth. The foundation works in conjunction with a charity founded by Norman Yatuma, a Detroit attorney. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Royalty Flow. In September 2017, a company called Royalty Flow, a subsidiary of Royalty Exchange, filed to issue an IPO under SEC Regulation A+ to raise money with the intent of purchasing either 15% or 25% of Eminem's former production teams, the Bass Brothers, also known as FBT Productions, share of his sound recording royalties. Discography. Main articles, Eminem Albums Discography, Eminem Singles Discography, and Eminem Production Discography, Infinite, 1996, The Slim Shady LP, 1999, The Marshall Mathers LP, 2000, The Eminem Show, 2002, Encore, 2004, Relapse, 2009, Recovery, 2010, The Marshall Mathers LP2, 2013, Revival, 2017, Kamikaze, 2018, Tours. A logo for the Monster Tour, 2014, as a headliner. The Recovery Tour, 2010 to 2013, Rapture Tour, 2014, Revival Tour, 2018, as a co-headliner. Up in Smoke Tour, with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube and others, 2000, Anger Management Tour, with Limp Bizkit and Papa Roach, 2002 to 2005, The Home and Home Tour, with Jay-Z, 2010, The Monster Tour, with Rihanna, 2014.